Next, thousands ordered to flee wildfires once again, advancing on one of the largest cities in Canada's far north. The people have been crammed into a local airport this Thursday to try to get on board emergency evacuation flights. The order later on Wednesday to evacuate the city of Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories marked the latest chapter of a terrible summer for wildfires in Canada, with tens of thousands of people forced to leave their homes and vast swathes of land scorched. On the roads, convoys snaked south to safety on the only open highway. The situation then in Canada is preoccupying, to say the least. Joining us from Quebec is Raphaël Chavardès, who's a Wildland Fire Research Analyst at the Laurentian Forestry Centre. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Give us your assessment of the current situation.
Well, first of all, we can discuss about the factors that are responsible for some of these fires. And this year, we experienced hot, dry conditions and strong winds in multiple regions of Canada, and sometimes at the same time. And right now, these conditions can be found in the central and southern parts of the Northwest Territories, mainly in boreal forests. And in some of these forests, fuels are dry and can ignite and burn. The strong winds also make it easier for the fires to spread. And over the fire seasons, many fires were ignited by lightning in Alberta and June in Quebec. Often, these lightning-ignited fires are in remote, hard-to-reach areas, and with the strong winds, these fires can spread rapidly, endangering the communities. And right now, for example, in Yellowknife and the surrounding communities, we're concerned at the moment because there's a cold front that's moving into the region, and there's some rain that's expected to fall, but unfortunately just mainly on the west of the territory rather than in the center and the south. And in addition, lightning is expected, which could trigger more fires. Fortunately, last night's evacuation order for Yellowknife was precautionary. We're not expecting for the fire to move in over a short while, but we're waiting to see how much rain falls today. Thank you.
And in terms of the subject of climate change, global warming, how much are these factors making things worse?
Well, there's a lot of variability in the number of fires and area burned from year to year in Canada. However, the data from tree rings and charcoal found in lake sediments shows that Canada's boreal and montane cordillera forests had a lot of fire in the past. And what is different over the recent decades is that we're experiencing longer fire seasons with these warmer temperatures, especially in the western regions of Canada. And this year, many wildfires threatening communities in different provinces and territories, which places greater demands on the women and men firefighters and fire suppression agencies. In addition, the firefighters face intense fire behavior that places them and many communities in dangerous situations. And
Raphaël, what you're describing in some ways, sorry to interrupt you, kind of raises the question, certainly for me, as to whether or not this is something that we have to accept will happen year on year, or is there something we can do about this? Is what's happening right now in Canada because it is something that couldn't be avoided, or was there anything that could have been done that wasn't done, do you think?
Well, coming back to the topic of lightning ignitions, for example, scientists associated with NASA carried out analyses in the 1990s, and they predicted that with higher temperatures, we would experience more lightning strikes in the northern hemisphere. So that's quite a long time. The things about what we can do now is there are great programs like, say, Fire Smart or Anti-Feu in French. So that's the French name of this program. And there's a whole bunch of solutions that homeowners and communities or industrial partners can use in order to mitigate the risk of wildfires entering in what we call the wildland-urban interface.
Thank you, sir, very much indeed. The situation there in Canada preoccupying. Raphaël Chavardès, thank you for that analysis of the situation. We, of course, are watching for all developments here on France 24. Thank you, Raphaël, very much indeed.